You can actually make a digital twin using AI, so someone can make you in an AI version and then ask the AI version of you, what do you think about this product, or what do you think about these colors?
Welcome to AI Factor, coming to you from the NASDAQ market site. Today we're talking with Bacharach, CEO of FindMine, about how AI is reshaping retail. Welcome, Michelle.
Thanks for having me.
Big picture, what is the role of AI today in retail?
Yeah, I feel like retail touches so many aspects of our lives as consumers, and then obviously there's the whole sort of back office for the retailers and brands to make it happen, make products and sell them. And AI touches or could touch literally every step of the way, from the supply chain and how products get produced to how you're consuming them. Some of the really interesting applications of AI I think that are happening are even in things like focus groups. So instead of getting 10 people around a table and then asking them what they think about trends or this product or how does this taste, you can actually make a digital twin using AI, so someone can make you in an AI version and then ask the AI version of you, what do you think about this product, or what do you think about these colors, rather than having to ask you. And obviously that reduces the cost, but I think that's one of the more mind-blowing applications of AI.
How exactly are you guys leveraging AI to help people find exactly what they're looking for and really just give consumers what they want?
We actually started by trying to solve the consumer's problem, which was, I don't wear a blazer with no shirt and no pants, I need to get dressed. So we envisioned it as sort of like an AI stylist. But what happened over all those years between kind of 2014 and today is that what we realized is that brands are in a very competitive environment, right? There's Nike, there's Adidas, there's Lululemon, there's Athleta, there's Champion, there's Under Armour, and all of these are competing fiercely in the same category. And if you as a consumer feel like there's no difference between those brands, you just buy whatever's cheapest. And that's a very dangerous place for brands to be. So they have to differentiate who they are as a brand, what their style ethos is, what kind of lifestyle they want to help you lead as they inspire you. And that's really hard to do with just human manpower, because the humans are what are creating that beautiful creative at the beginning of the season. They're envisioning kind of what the trends should be and things like that. But then the production work to get that inspiration, like a window display or a mannequin, is very time intensive and very cost intensive. And so what FindMine does is we take all that into our system and then we say, all right, teach our AI how to behave like a stylist, like a merchandiser. Rather than teaching an AI how to behave like you for a focus group, we're teaching it this expertise of the brand so that it can produce these high quality inspirational assets around every product and help elevate the customer journey in a way that the brand really would be doing if they had unlimited manpower, but they don't. And so that's the gap that we help fill.
Most people don't really associate AI and creativity necessarily. And so how do you see AI unlocking this level of creativity that maybe people and businesses can't do on their own?
There's always been this tension between art and science and merchandising in retail, right? The creative director might be like, this is the vision. And then the e-commerce team is like, okay, but these products are selling. And so our recommendation engine is gonna pick up on that and push those products. And the creative director is like, but I want my vision. And they're like, but this is what sells. So that balance is something that I think AI can actually help strike the right sort of getting everyone a little bit of what they need, because the data is able to process and say, okay, maybe there's a moment where we can inject the vision a little bit more strongly and still not do it at the detriment of the revenue, or we can still get the sale but keep the brand integrity high. Whereas humans, just because of how time limited we are, just what we have going on, the way our brains work, what resources and data is available to us, we think of it a little bit more in dichotomies. It's either the brand wins or the revenue wins. But with something like AI, you can do that little sprinkle. Instead of Balmain and Gucci and Keith Haring, it's a sprinkle of margin and revenue and the brand. And that's what our system is really unique at, kind of balancing those things so that everyone is sort of getting their needs met.
Right, it almost serves as like a mediator between the creative world and the little bit harder cash-focused world.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like that ultimate tiebreaker.
What were the conversations like about AI back when you started, and how did you think about using machine learning to do what you do at FindMine?
Honestly, I don't even remember it being this revolutionary moment where we're using AI to do this. It was just, we had a use case. We were trying to figure out how to show a shopper what the merchant would put with this product, and even before that, what to put with the product in general without kind of that merchant involvement. And the way to solve it was these machine learning models. So we didn't really even realize that it was that transformative at the time, which I think is a good thing and bad thing, because Obviously, we're not like, a $1 billion IPO kind of company. Our growth was slow because people didn't understand this technology. They weren't comfortable with it. They didn't know what to do with it. Now that's obviously all changing, but we had to stay in it long enough to get to that point. And the nice advantage that that gave us is that all the new entrants now who are coming in who are saying like, oh, we use AI, we use AI. It's like they started with something that wasn't AI at its core and then bolted on AI on top of it. And that's fine for a lot of purposes. For what we do, because it's so complex, it's just never going to be performant enough or like meet the need enough to do the job. And so because we had AI at our core, we kind of lucked into it all those years ago and have gotten smarter over time because that's what AI does. Now we're in a very defensible position. So I'm grateful for the journey, having been that long for that reason.
Totally, and I feel like what you described is actually the opposite of the way that it works today, where companies incorporate AI and then find their use cases. But you had a use case and then found machine learning was the way to make it happen.
And I think that should be the case for everyone. I counsel boards and executives in very large companies all the time who are like, we need an AI strategy. And I'm like, no, you need a solve our problem strategy. And maybe AI is the solution to your problem, but you shouldn't have an AI strategy. Your strategy should be reduce cost. Your strategy should be improve the customer experience. Your strategy should be improve customer lifetime value to CAC. Those are strategies that are valid, and AI may or may not be the way to achieve them.
How do you hope AI will continue to evolve to take your work to the next level?
One of the things I'm hopeful for is AI and sort of image rendering. So today, because 100 million consumers a month see our content and 95% of it is happening in real time, it's not possible to use an AI to like generate what looks like a person in some kind of like, background or environment, right? Because the fingers are weird, because, there's like a hallucination, because like the eye got all like, kind of Picasso style. It's like that happens. And when you're working at your office and you're just playing around with it, it's fine. You're like, fix the eye, that's weird. But when you're live to 100 million consumers in real time, you don't have time for that. And the brands can't stand for that like trust loss with their consumer. That is getting better. And so my hope is that that gets so good that our rendering media for what we do opens up so much more. Because right now we're using like physically produced images for the most part, and then like making manipulations to them, which isn't as exciting as, showing a digital version of you wearing the garments and then swap that, put me in a field of flowers, put me in on top of a mountain, right? That's really fun and cool, and you can do so many things with that. The quality is just not there yet.
So how do you see AI kind of changing the way that customers and businesses interact and how they have this relationship?
One of the services we provide is like, if you shot the garment on the model and you want it to isolate it, we provide a service to do that. And some of it's AI, and then some of it's even human driven, because if you couldn't tell what happens under your hair, right, with the lapel, sometimes you need a human to make that judgment call, but sometimes the human doesn't even know. So if you showed a garment and it's like supposed to have buttons, but you didn't show the buttons and a customer bought it, there's a breach of trust, right? They're gonna return the product. They might not think too much about it, but you have to have that fidelity be high enough so that the customer just doesn't like file you in their mind, even subconsciously, as like not my favorite brand. Especially when like, competition is so stiff for getting customers' attention. Like, you need to be in the mind of the customer in that little file. It's my favorite brand. Like that's it.
Great, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for watching. I'm Rocio Fabro with Quartz. Stick with QZ.com for more.